Good morning, dear students. Welcome to SST period. And today we are going to start our third chapter from history, because this chapter is also a part of your PT portion. And then after that we will have little bit of map work during, even maybe during the first few days of your summer vacation. So anyway, we are going to start the last chapter for PT exam from history, that is chapter 3, ruling the countryside. So in this particular chapter we are going to learn about how British have ruled over the country. Countryside means the villages, the areas, various places of the country. Okay, so in this chapter we are basically going to learn how they have become, how the British have become Nawab, sorry, kind of they have company Nawab type they have become, and then how they have ruled over the country, how they have administered the country, how they have put up their colonies, or we can say they have extended their trade, as well as how they have collected the revenue from the peasants and the farmers of the first initially in the Bengal, and then later on in overall in the country. So we will discuss about the ruling of the British within the countryside. Okay, so here is little bit of introduction where company officials become the Nawabs. Okay, we already have got this topic in our previous chapter also, that company that when officials they have led their life like a Nawab, they have enjoyed all the facilities like that of Nawab, and they have got the power, I mean the company officials got the power of collecting revenue of the Bengal specially. So on 12th of August 1765, the Mughal emperor who appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. They appointed the East India Company, the officials, as the Diwan of Bengal, because now British have become very powerful in the country, and that's why the they were bound to, or Mughal Empire were bound to appoint the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. As Diwan, the company became the chief financial administrator. So after becoming Diwan, they become the financial administrator, means collection of revenue and related to all finances. It is all administered by the British East India Company. So they become, as a Diwan, they become the chief financial administrator of the territory under its own control. Then the company needed to administer the land and organize its revenue resources. So the East India Company now got the power to administer the land of the different peasants, especially in Bengal, and then the organized revenue, its revenue resources, means they have got the power to collect revenue, and they wanted to increase the revenue also, so that whatever they buy from the country, that is especially the cotton and whatever the things they buy from the, or resource they buy from our country, they get it in cheap price. So they try to collect more revenue from the peasants. So anyway, that the company came to colonize the countryside. Organize countryside means the villages. The company came to colonize the countryside, organize revenue resources, redefine the rights of the people, and produce the crops it wanted. So what they do is that they basically wanted the peasants to grow cotton and indigo. So they enforced the peasants or the farmers to grow cotton and indigo, which is their requirement. They take it from the country India, and they make it a finished product and sell it in higher prices for more profit in the global market. So in India also, so the company, they they colonize the countryside or the village, and then they, what they do is, countryside means village, I already said. They organize the revenue resources. They started to collecting more revenue, and then redefine the rights of the people, and they also have changed or redefined, or make it little bit of change in the people's right, as well as they forced farmers to grow indigo and cotton specially for their requirement to fulfill. So whatever the crop they wanted, they enforced or they forced farmers to grow that one. Then the revenue for the company. Now how this revenue they have collected and how it was important for them. So the company got the Diwani rights and started extracting more and more revenue out of it. So what they have done is, when they got the Diwani rights, means financial administration is now under the hand of the company, the British East India Company. So after getting that right, what they have do is they started extracting, they collecting more. Extraction means collection, collecting more and more revenue from the farmers as well as other people in the country. I mean in the West Bengal or Bengal. That time it was Bengal, not West Bengal, because Bangladesh was also part of it. So Bengal, they started extracting more and more revenue out of it from Bengal, and used various measures to get it, but still saw itself primarily as a trader. Though they started to collect more and more revenue, but still they look like a trade only, because they were bound to the Bengal area only. That's why they were they were seems like a trader only. So that's why now they started to think to rule all over the country. Okay, initially they were only in Bengal, then they have started, you already know, you have seen how they have fought with the the Mysore. Then there were a lot of fight where British have been the a winner always, or we can say they were the victorious always. So anyway, after they got the Diwani right, they started collecting more and more revenue, but later on they realized that they are still a trader in the country. Then, before 1865, the company purchased goods in India by importing gold and silver from Britain. Before 1865, what the company do is that they were purchasing goods from the country, whatever their requirements, especially the cotton, indigo, and other resources, but they import gold and silver from Britain. From Britain, they bring gold and silver to our country, but they take whatever they required, especially the forest resources, timber and all, as well as indigo, then cotton, as well as other forest resources they collected from India, but they bring to India the gold and silver. Now the revenue collected in Bengal could finance the purchase of goods for export. Now whatever they export from our country, like forest resources, or maybe like indigo and cotton, now they can export these resources to their own country. To their own country means to Britain. In fact, by the revenue whatever they get from the Indian, or we can say the Bengal people, from that only they can purchase the goods which is required for their country or for Britain. Now they don't have to exchange it with some other products like gold and silver. But initially till 1865, they were taking the goods from required goods from the India to Britain, and in place of that they have sell the or they have they import gold and silver to India. But now they have taken all the things which is required for their own country, but they can purchase it through the revenue, the extra money which they have collected from revenue. From that only they can purchase those goods. Then Bengal economy was facing a deep crisis. Due to that reason, Bengal economy was facing a lot of crisis, because they have to pay a lot of tax, lot of revenue to the British East India Company, which was their profit. It's not benefiting the Bengal government or Bengal region. It was just benefiting the East India Company. So that's why the Bengal came in a deep crisis of finance. Then peasants and craftsmen were not getting the proper amount for their sell. In fact, whatever they sell, they are not getting the proper amount also. The required amount also they are not getting. In fact, they were in loss. Okay, so that's why the Bengal economy have faced a deep economic crisis during the time of British, when they started collecting, or when the British got the Diwani rights to collect revenue from the Bengal. Then in 1770, a terrible famine killed 10 million people in Bengal. So in 1770, due to famine, there were 10 million people were being died in the country due to famine, due to starvation. But no one gave attention to the plea of affected people, as revenue was under the control of British. So no one could give the importance to the affected people. In fact, British East India Company did not pay any attention to those people who were the sufferers during the famine, because the revenue was in their hand, and they were not giving any attention to the people of India, because they were in like only thinking about their profit. They are not thinking about the Indians, because they want to extract more and more resources, more and more finance, or more and more money from the Indians, but they are not paying attention to the famine affected people also. Then they did not pay head to any of the matter related to peasants, as their main task was to take money by trade. So they did not pay any attention to any of the people, whoever, even the peasants, where these were facing the problem of famine, because the crop failure was being done. It happened, crop failure has happened, so the peasants were also in great loss. They were also the sufferers of the famine, but the British did not pay any attention even to the farmers also, because their main task was to collect more and more revenue, or collect more money for their own by trading. Okay, so this is about just an introduction of today's class. We will continue with the next topic. So today we have just learned that how British, they have become the Nawab, I mean the Diwani. They got the Diwani rights when they become the Nawabi rights, or Diwani rights. The financial administration were under their hand, and later on they started collecting more and more revenue, and they export whatever the things they required in their country by the money they have collected through the revenue collection. Okay, so that is all about for today's class. I hope you all have understood. Please note down the points in your copies. Okay, thank you so much, students.